You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scott Pike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. I'm delighted to welcome this week's special guest. It's a pleasure to welcome on the Newmains United first team coach, Marc Fleming. Marc, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. How are you? How are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
I'm all good, mate. Yeah, it's been a bit of a busy few days, obviously, with the South Challenge Cup. 9 West teams have made the last 16. There's a lot going on in terms of the leagues. You know yourself, obviously, it's just a busy time of year, trying to get fixtures in and things like that, and it's a tough time of year.
It's always busy. Obviously the weather and that's not been great recently, so lots of games have been getting called off and that, but hopefully that's kind of the start of the weather and all the games can kind of get backfilled and we're playing twice a week shortly.
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously touching kind of Newmains season so far, was it safe to say at the start of the season it was you did think it was obviously going to be difficult with the new kind of conference system, the way it worked getting into the third division? It's been tough, but there's been some positives to take for the season, I would say.
So I came for Shots Bonaccord under 20s, so this is my first year at senior football and
Yeah,
it's been a great challenge to come into, but it was always going to be a rebuilding job with Newmains. Obviously when Davy and that took over, James and Joanne took over as well as owners of the club as well. So it's been brilliant to see like where we've been to where we are on and off the park as well. We've obviously got like the larder, the Dally's larder and that as well to get the community involved and the club run that. And it's just brilliant to see the club helping out the community as well.
yeah. Like obviously as well, like kind of there's certain results. There's a lot of like obviously the last 3 games you have drawn and things like that. There's a lot of games that you're playing against good sides and kind of hold them to draws and things like that. There are like positives in that regard in terms of the league season.
So obviously going to start of the season results, and then like we played Kello like 3 or 4 months ago, and they hammered us 5-0, and they did hammer us. When we went away there, and then we brought them back to Victoria Park and got a 1-1 draw. Granted, we scored in the 94th minute, but I thought we deserved the draw. Same again against Flat Call. Very good team, very good setup as well. And we frustrated them and managed to get a 0-0 draw, and that's a great point for us as well.
Yeah,
and we just need to build on that, and we're making ourselves hard to beat, and it's great to see.
Yeah, and the kind of the reflection of that's obviously we spoke about this a lot in terms of the conference system, the way it's worked. When you look at the league and you look at the way it's kind of shaped up, it's safe to say after kind of last season it's been an absolute success because it's made the leagues a lot more competitive.
Well, they are. Like I was watching the one with the Nielsen manager last week, and he's obviously hit the nail on the head and said that all teams are very similar. So every team in our league you could beat everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1 week you could go out and get 0-0 off Lark Call, and then you could go and get a result off of Villa Clyde if you were playing them. But I'm not saying that we're going to, but you could. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's very, very tight.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great to see for the West of Scotland as well.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
The leagues are brilliant.
Definitely. You mentioned there obviously about the kind of the infrastructure at the club and how impressed you've been since going there and the kind of way it's kind of set up and the improvements the club want to make.
So even since I went in at the kind of end of May, start of June, the improvements off the park have been brilliant. Like the clubhouse has been like totally revamped.
Yeah.
It's still a work in progress as well. So it'll be brilliant to see like the end product. And as I say, it's easier for us, like on the park. So Davy and Andrew, the assistant, it's easier for me, Scotty, the goalie coach, and Stuart to do our jobs on the training pitch and on the park at the weekend when we've got a team of brilliant volunteers behind us to do all that stuff for us. Yeah. So we don't have to kind of worry about it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll touch on obviously the game at the weekend in a few minutes. We'll obviously look at the third division, but we did have a few West sides kind of flying the flag in the South Challenge Cup. we'll just kind of go through the results that involved the kind of West teams, and I'll get asked if you're maybe the result you caught your eye. We'll start with Auchinleck won 7-0 at home to Broxburn Athletic. Cumnock Juniors beat Troon 4-2 after extra time. Gartcairn won 4-3 after extra time against Bowness Athletic. Glenafton 2, Drumchapel 3, Kilwinning 3, Lothian Thistle Hutchie Vale 0. Locker 1, Maryhill 4, Maybole 0, Clydebank 1. Rossvale get put out by East Kilbride. Big result, I would say, is 3 Rovers 3, St Cadoc's 1, and Fairley Clyde 1, Thornton Hibs 0. There's some excellent results here for the West of Scotland teams. What would be a kind of one that caught your eye?
Aye, I would say 3 Rovers are obviously up there, being in the fourth division. That's a good result against St Cadoc's, who are also flying as well. So that would probably be the pick of them. Again, Fairley Clyde, they're romping it, I think, this season. That's a great result for them. Obviously, Talbot 7-0, can't complain with a 7-0 game. Broxburn have a good side as well in the East Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say like it's a Maryhill going to Locker and winning 4-1.
Maryhill, that's a great result for them as well.
You would probably say like they might have been struggling in the league, and you think would they go to maybe like a banana skin. Locker a decent side off the top of the south, but they've went there and won 4-1, came for a goal down.
Maryhill beat us 4-1 in the Scottish Cup earlier in the season. I thought they were a decent side. We've got 2 boys on loan for Maryhill, so we can know what the results are like and all that, and they'll be buzzing with that. They'll be fancying their chances in the next round anyway. Yeah, they've obviously got the Scottish Cup this weekend as well, so they'll be
definitely. We'll just go through the 5th round draw. Was made on Monday night. Auchinleck host East Kilbride, Clydebank host Stirling Uni, Cumnock host Socky Juniors, an all West tie between Drumchapel United and Vale of Clyde. Gartcairn host Trinent Juniors, Maryhill Kilwinning another all West tie, and 3 host Caledonian Braves. There's a few that jump out there. Firstly, Auchinleck East Kilbride, that will be a great game.
Aye, that'll be a great game. I also think the kind of dark horse of that game will be Vale of Clyde. That's a great draw for them against Drumchapel. That's a very good draw.
Yeah,
again, 3 Rovers have got their cup final basically against Cali Braves, and that'll be what you're wanting in your season.
Yeah, Gartcairn playing Trinent as well. Team flying in the Lowland League.
A good draw as well.
Clydebank and Stirling Uni as well. Stirling Uni, I would say, if you look at probably a team that have caught the eye the most out of kind of non-league at the moment, it's Stirling Uni. They're sitting there challenging at the top of the Lowland League. There's some really good games as well. In the West, every West team has got a chance here.
Aye, they have, definitely. I was looking at it the other day as well. Obviously, like there's 7 out of the 8 teams are electing the Scottish Junior Cup are for the West of Scotland. So the West of Scotland is a very, very, very good league. And obviously, everybody knows how Darvel beat Aberdeen. Like, set up and recognise us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
the West is a very good standard.
It's absolutely great standard as well, and that's what's like you think. Obviously, 3 beating St Cadoc's as well. There's not, that doesn't really surprise you. Not like both sides are kind of 3 obviously came for the south and things like that, but 3 we've got a really good side. Like, do you know what I mean? It kind of shows you the way the kind of West has worked and things like that. Like, a 4th division side can beat a 1st division side, and nobody really not a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a total surprise." It's just the way they kind of St Cadoc's obviously have got a really good side, but 3 are more than capable of giving MD a game.
Definitely, I think everybody are more than capable of giving everybody a game in the leagues. You obviously look at the games for earlier in the season, and teams like Kilsyth have beat the other Kilsyth. Do you know what I mean? And it's they're in 4th division, but they're absolutely flying, not lost a game. Do you know what I mean? So
some great results, and obviously some big. We've got the Junior Cup this weekend as well. Some big games in there. We did have some league action across the kind of 5 leagues. We'll just kind of go through what happened over the weekend. We will start Petershill 3, Largs Thistle 2 on Friday night. A really good game for the neutral if you were there on Friday. An own goal, Jay Mackay and Cappy with the goals for Petershill. Petershill again, they've just been looking to get some runs get a run on the board, get some wins under their belt. They had to work for it. It was a really tight game by all reports. It's a huge win for Petershill and takes them up top in the league.
Well, they'll be happy with that because I've obviously seen they're kind of floating about the bottom of the league there all season, so they'll be ecstatic that they're off the bottom. They're a good side as well, so they've got a cracking setup, so they'll be buzzing with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a huge result. Darvel as well. Darvel went. They're obviously top of the league again. They won on Wednesday night against Clydebank, and they obviously are top now. A 5-0 home win over Arvid Meadow. Craig Moore with a hat trick, Ian McShane and Craig Truesdale with the goals. A 5-0 victory, very comfortable. The thing with Darvel is, and we spoke about this, we speak a lot about squad depth with Darvel. They then bring in Robbie McNabb and Andrew McDonald, two top players. You know what I mean? Top players at this level. Like
definitely.
Robbie McNabb coming in loan for Kelty. He's a really good player.
It's a great deal for them, isn't it?
And
Mick
Craig
will be
Moore,
absolutely buzzing with it as well. So
yeah.
and he'll be buzzing with getting another win again after obviously Arthurlie. So he'll be buzzing to be back at the top of the league and kick on for there, and then they've got their another cup title against Falkirk. So
yeah, another big occasion. I wanted to touch about Craig Moore as well because a lot of people like we hear the stories about he's came from United and things like that, and he's not. When he's fit, he's probably one of the best strikers in the league.
Definitely.
But that's the thing, like he's not always fit, but when he is fit and ready and able to play,
flying on all cylinders,
can score a hat trick. And Arvid Meadow are no mugs, and that a 5-0 result.
Not.
You know what I mean? But Darvel played some top football. Bill report. I saw the goals. Some of the goals are really good to watch.
I didn't watch the game against like Aberdeen or anything like that because I was at training, but I seen the highlights and the football they were playing, and then I also watched like Mick on open goal, and just the way he was talking about how they just go for it. They want to play out the back constantly, regardless of who they're playing. Mm-hmm. It's just brilliant. That kind of stuff is amazing. Like just want to play football constantly. That's the way football should be played.
Yeah, and if you can beat Aberdeen, you can certainly
beat anybody.
Take your chances against Falkirk.
Definitely.
Yeah, but a huge occasion for the West on Monday night as well was Darvel host Falkirk. Bees went to Rob Roy 1-3-1. Goals from Monty, Docherty and Paul Fries. Again, Bees are just winning, keep winning. That's the only thing they can do is keep trying to put pressure on Darvel, keep winning games. And we speak about it every week. The job strain he's done there has been brilliant.
Well, they're there and thereabouts, so they just need to keep their momentum up and, as you say, just stay toe to toe with Darvel and hopefully they get the results that they're obviously wanting. And I wouldn't say they're surprised. They're a very good team, Beath. So they just need to keep going, and I'm sure it'll be an exciting end to the season if they're still up there.
Yeah, and that's the kind of main thing they can do is just keep trying to challenge because they're capable of being up at where they are, and if they just keep going, and they'll be pretty good. We'll go to Hurlford next. Hurlford now, Pollock 4, Ford, Burns, McCann, and Nelson with the goals for Pollock. A really good victory for Pollock, and usually that would be the story of the game, but it turns out there was a certain interference. Did you hear about that?
I've seen it on Twitter. The goal line clearance went viral. That's what I've seen on Twitter.
We are talking about the famous dog who has taken the world by storm. Just again though, like obviously the a bit of tongue in cheek there about the dog and things like that. It was just a funny sight if you saw it. And
I've seen it on Twitter. It's quite funny,
But that's a huge result for Paul going to Hurlford. Never an easy place to go to. Hurlford have been on a pretty good run actually. They've been kind of drawing games and winning here and there with a really good start to the season. And Paul, to go to Hurlford and win 4-0, and Adam Forge, like, do you know what I mean? All these players they keep doing it, and they're just a huge result. And it can again, Max has been in there. He's lost his last 2 games. It's been a bit of a struggle the past few weeks. But it's a big response to go to Hurlford and win 4-0.
It was obviously no easy to take on the magnitude of Pollock's job as well. Like, you know what I mean? It's a massive club, and Max has also went in there and got his result. But 4-0 away from home anywhere is a great result. Mm-hmm. They'll be absolutely buzzing with that result as well. I'm sure I've seen that it was the first time they've won at Hurlford as well or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So
but no many teams go to Hurlford.
That's brilliant. No,
I remember
no 4-0 anyway.
I remember going to that game last season, Hurlford and Pollock at Hurlford, and there wasn't a lot. Do you know what I mean? Two sides were just really hard to break down.
We played Pollock in pre-season, and I thought they were phenomenal. Like the football they were playing was ridiculous, and that's just obviously the levels that we want to get to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's a great result for Max and the boys there.
Yeah, definitely. Final game in the Premier Division was a big one for Cambuslang, a 3-2 win over another kind of promoted side was Atherley. Anson, Brennan and Richard for the goals were Cambuslang. Again, Cambuslang, similar to Petershill, they just need to get wins on the board and try and climb the table.
Aye, that's it. They just need to keep their momentum up. So they've got the result and they just need to keep winning and plugging away.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We'll move into the first division. We will start at Bonneton. Bonneton 1, Kilburnie 5. Big result for Kilburnie obviously puts them within a point of the league leaders St Cadoc's and Gartcairn. Story of the game, Ross McKenzie with 4 goals. Big display from him.
Aye. Any display with 4 goals and it's a great game for the guy. He'll be absolutely buzzing with that. I'm sure he's wanting to keep scoring every other game and another good result for them to keep them up the kind of top end of the table.
Yeah. Johnson 5, St Roch's 3, Connor Miller with doubles and Jojo Gillespie by penalty. Again, just these games are they can be high scoring affairs, but they're always tight.
Aye. Again, we played St Roch's in the cup and they're a great side. They're a great side. So Johnson Borough will be brilliant. They scored in 5, maybe not conceding 3, but they've got the winning and have scored 5 goals. The bargain there. Yeah,
Kieran Daw scored 2 penalties as well for St Roch's. Benburb and Rutherglen, 2 sides in a kind of similar run. Both were unbeaten in the last 6 games coming into this. And Benburb were the ones that won 1-0. It took a penalty from Ryan McCrone. Tight affair. Benburb though won big bragging rights.
Aye, definitely. That's another good result for them. Every team obviously wants to get the 3 points every time they go out. And still get the goal and the clean sheet, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I think I've seen as well. Whenever we've had a kind of somebody on from a club the weekend after they've won, so I'm giving you a big compliment here. Last week we obviously had Neilson manager Kevin Muirhead and Neilston 1-2-1 against
1-2-1, aye.
From Jones and Gallagher. That's a big result for Neilston. Obviously, we were talking last week about just trying to climb the table. I think Neilston have climbed something like 4 places just with that win.
Aye, that's what I was saying to you at the start there. They're obviously the leagues are so tight that you can win a game and jump 4 places. Like so, he'll be buzzing with that. Obviously, just taking over the job recently and getting his foot in the door and getting a settled squad for himself and that. So he'll be buzzing with that for a result.
Yeah. Thornleywood 2, Cumbernauld 1, Ali Small and Declan Brown with the goals. Thornleywood, again, we touched on maybe Thornleywood a few weeks ago that maybe they're struggling to get rid of a lot of losses in a row. They've won the last 2, and again, they're another side that are just climbing the table. All it needs is kind of 2 wins, and you can be right back up there. Cumbernauld, on the other hand, maybe they're in the middle of a difficult run. They've lost 4 out of the last 5. I know Tony will get it right there. But again, 2 sides that have now... kind of one side of it, Thornleywood are getting wins. Cumbernauld are hoping just to get back on the train and get winning again.
Aye, that's it. So obviously they played shots like last weekend and then they won and then they've won again 2-1. So that's 2 wins in a row, and as you say, it's boosted you right up the table and it gives you that confidence to start going on and getting another win and another one. As for Cumbernauld, they just need to keep working in the training pitch and keep believing that they can get their 3 points when they go out again on Saturday.
Yeah. Again, just that first division, we speak about it all the time. You look at it, there's only 13 points from 1st to 14th.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's mad. Crazy. It's just, it's again, and everybody like Bonneton have played 21 games, Drumchapel have played 12, so there is this kind of difference. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's Drumchapel, for example, there's a lot of games to make up and things like that. Who do you kind of see being up the top end at the end of the season in that league?
I would say Drumchapel have got to be in there with a shout, as well as Gartcairn. I would say they'll be up there. St Cadoc's have obviously, they're kind of floating about the top as well. So I would maybe say that would be my 3 to potentially go up.
Yeah,
obviously Kilburnie and all that are up there as well. They're no mugs. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, there's a lot of teams in there that can challenge at the top.
It'd probably be a bit hard to decide, to be fair. So
it's hard, isn't it? It's a crazy league. Ashfield won 5-0 at home to Wishaw in the 2nd division. They obviously go back up to 2nd in the table. The way it's kind of worked out, Ashfield have won 5-0. Renfrew drew 2 each. We'll touch on Renfrew in a second, but I want to get to Ashfield as well. They had a difficult kind of start to the season, I would say. They were I think they lost 7-2 their first game at Muirkirk or something like that. But they had a really bad result in their first game, and they're sitting 2nd in the league, and it's just a testament to how well the job that's went on down there.
Well, we played them pre-season as well through at Ashfield, and I thought they were a good side.
Bobby Barr's
so
a big player for them as well.
aye, we just lost our captain there as well, didn't they? So that would have been a wee bit of a blow for them. But they, as you say, beat 7-2 first game of the season. They're sitting second in the league, so they've obviously took that and used the kind of anger out on the other team and got a good few results. Another great result for them as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah, massive result. Wishaw, on the other hand, they're kind of struggling. They've lost the last 4. They're kind of sitting in 15th place. They'll just, again, what do you kind of do in that situation when you're at the kind of bottom side of the table? Is it just about just trying to get wins in the board? Is it just try to...
Aye.
Because players will be flat as well.
That's what you just kind of hit it on the head. The players will be flat, so you just need to try and get your boys kind of believing in that they can win, because they can. Like they're obviously good enough. That's why they're at that level. So they just need to keep believing in themselves, plugging away, working hard in training, and coming out and working hard on the pitch.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it's tough for a lot of these teams. Like when you're in the middle of a bad run, all it takes is kind of one win, and it can kick you on. And the leagues are that competitive that all it takes is that kind of week just to get that wee run going, and you can just be in such a better place.
Definitely. One team you can get a good result, and the other team that's close to you will get a bad result. Next game week you'll get a bad result, and the next team will get a good result, and you just keep kind of going forward and backwards. But that's just testament to how good the leagues are and how good the standard is. Yeah, everybody's close to each other rather than somebody running away with a week.
It's absolutely worked out the way the kind of conference systems worked. 4th to Renfrew Renfrew. Obviously, they won the cup and penalties the other last week. That's a huge job. That gives them a chance to obviously play in the Scottish Cup. They'll be wanting to get the league run going because they're still top of the league, but they've only won 1 in the last 6 in the league, and fourth are up there as well. Like 4th are up there, more than capable of challenging them if they get there.
Aye, definitely. Like as I say, we played 4th again in pre-season, and they were another good side, and they're obviously sitting
a lot of good sides in the league. West, aren't
there? Definitely. I think they're sitting 4th in the league. So that was a good result for them to obviously get a point off the top of the league, and they've not played much 4th as well. So
when Thomas was on, I think they hadn't played since like the early November, and we had them on just before Christmas.
Aye, they've not played it. So that is obviously a good result for them. Good to see again, competitive.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move into Glasgow Perthshire. Jamie Patterson scored a double in a 3-1 win over Ardea. We just keep talking about Glasgow Perthshire. They're just going about their business quietly and winning games. They're 3rd in the league. I don't think anybody would have said they would be 3rd in the league at the start of February. Nah,
they'll again be very, very happy with that. As you say, they just need to go about their business. Don't flap when you're getting to that point of the season, because sometimes kind of it boils over if the pressure's feeling a bit hard on them. They just need to keep going about their business and winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's some job Billy's done there as well with them. A team that they're not like. There's no real kind of like when you look at a lot of like maybe the 3rd division is a good example of this as well. There's like a top main man in kind of each team. Like you always kind of see like the big players kind of standing out. Glasgow Perthshire, they always have like different scorers every week. There's always, do you know what I mean? They've got such a well-oiled machine by the sounds of it. Like they've got a lot of players who maybe not like they're not maybe like players you'll know too much about, but they're, do you know what I mean? They're doing the business and they're sitting in 3rd place in a really competitive league, and it's really, really testament to how good a job Billy's done there. Craigmark 4, Muir Cup 0. Craigmark are a team, maybe they're unbeaten in the last 4 games in the league there, but they are capable of being up there at the end of the season, and they'll just want to keep that run going.
Definitely, aye. They again, as we keep saying, they're on a good side. I watched them against Open Goal in pre-season when Open Goal kind of just started, and they gave Open Goal a right good game as well. So they'll be happy with that result as well. Just again need to keep winning and get a run going.
Yeah. Other results: Yoker 2, Glasgow Uni 1, and Glasgow United 1, Kilsyth Rangers 1. Again, just the Glasgow United obviously sitting bottom, but you've got Kilsyth Rangers, Glasgow Uni, Yoker. They're all in the kind of mix of that kind of mid-table. And again, it's that kind of pivotal part in the season where you obviously want to be higher than lower, but that's a massive time of the season to make sure that they get closer to the promotion bit than the relegation.
This is probably the as you say, the most important part of the season where you get your results, and this will kind of define your season.
Yeah.
If you start getting results in that this time of the year, and then when the double week games come in, you can put a run together. So you're playing Wednesday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Saturday, and you're constantly playing. Do you know what I mean? You can get the wins in. You just need to keep doing that. And obviously, Glasgow United, they just need to again dust themselves down, move on.
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
back onto the training pitch and get back on Saturday and believe they can win.
Yeah, because all it can take is one win. Third division, we'll start obviously with Newmains on Saturday, a 0-0 draw away to Larkhall Thistle. What was the kind of overall assessment of the game? It's 3 draws in a row. It keeps a run going, and you could kick on.
Aye, well, it was horrible conditions. I would say at sometimes. If the park was like when I went on to the park to set up the warm up, and that was Stuart. It was like a bowling green after the kind of a wee bit of semi decent weather through the week. And 10 minutes in, the rain was sideways, and the park was like a field, and it was horrible for both teams. It was a tale of two halves, to be fair. Larkhall were the better team in the first half. I wouldn't say we were the better team in the second half, but we've definitely frustrated them. They were getting like really frustrated. It was probably a good game for the neutral as a 0-0, but it wasn't. There was some very good football and showcase both teams. Our 2 centre halves were phenomenal. 3 centre halves, sorry, were phenomenal.
Yeah.
But just for like my point of view, it was Davy's point of view as well. The fight in the team was brilliant. So you can't ask for much more as a manager of Davy and obviously us as coaches. Brilliant to see for the boys to dig deep against a team like Larkhall as well, who are obviously looking forward to a Scottish Cup quarter final this weekend, which is I think it's a great result for us.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And again, like you mentioned there about the Scottish Cup, there's 2 teams for the third division in the Scottish Cup quarter-finals. That's an amazing achievement.
Exactly.
There as well.
You just look at Yoker for last year as well. We got into the final. Do you know what I mean? So, as you say, teams for the third, fourth division are beating teams for the first division, and you can't take anything for granted because they're in the third division.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing achievement for the 2 clubs as well. Like, when you look at the league, I was just kind of go through some of the results like you've had in recent weeks, like the draw with Kello, the 4-each draw with Carluke. There's a lot of kind of tight games in there. Like there's like games you have lost as well. Like there's like apart from the Ardrossan game, they're tight games. Like it's not like as you say, when you've got 3 centre halves, you're keeping it tight.
We're set out to make ourselves hard to beat.
Yeah.
And that's what we are getting now. And it's good to see people are starting to take us seriously, basically, because I wouldn't say they're the best in the past, the Newmains teams. So it's good, and it's a testament to Davy bringing the boys in to work for him, and work for us as coaches. And we just need to keep believing. And by the way, we do believe in our team, and the boys believe in themselves that we can go out and get a result off of anybody we wanted. Just need to put our minds to it. Same as everybody in the league, though. It's a very competitive league, and we'll need to work hard to get out of that relegation place. And I believe we can as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm just hopefully you do. Like again, just some of the results we'll touch on. Kello 0, Ardrossan 4. Ardrossan, they've just hit 4 different goal scorers, sitting top of the league, 4-0 win away to Kello. Not an easy place to go and get a result, especially a 4-0 result.
No.
That Ardrossan train keeps going.
I know. They are a very good side. I missed the game against us, but they put 8 past us, do you know what I mean? So I know that they are a good side, and they'll just keep flying, and they just need to keep going. And also as for Kello, they're another very good side, and the coaching staff and that are brilliant. They're obviously well drilled, our boys, and they just need to pick themselves up and go again. Obviously, scored a 94th minute winner equaliser against them. Mm-hmm. So that kind of would have hindered themselves a bit, and then to get beat 4-0, they just need to pick themselves up and go again.
Yeah. Next result I want to talk about, Lanark keep their really impressive winning run going with a 7-0 win away to East Kilbride Thistle. Darren Lang got a hat-trick. First of all, with Lanark as well, how impressed you've been with their run?
Aye, it is good as well. They'll be right up there at the end of the season, I think. Aye, they are a good side, and there's no doubt about that. Very good footballing side as well when we played against them. And conditions when we played them were one of the best either. It was quite a field at Victoria Park with the rain and that. So, and they did play some good sides against Darren Lang scoring a hat-trick again, which is a regular occurrence this season. So
he's been really good this season. On the other hand of that, East Kilbride Thistle, I want to touch on. I don't know what's going on there. Like, obviously at the start of the season, there was a lot of talk about who they were bringing in, and you looked at some of the names in the team sheet, and you were like, that's a team that should be challenging just based on who they've got. I looked at their team on Saturday, and I think there was maybe one or two players that I thought that were there at the start of the season that you recognise, kind of thing, like you recognised were big names that were coming in at the start of the season. They're not there now. There's been a lot of changes at the club, and again, to lose 7-0 at home, people know how much I admire Aaron Connolly, but that's difficult. That's a difficult squad.
Aye, Aaron will be very disappointed with that. He is a demanding guy. Standing beside him when the party came on and scored the equaliser against us when we played the first game of the season or second game of the season or whatever it was. We drew 2 each with him twice, and second game we were up 2-0 and gave him 2 goals back. So, but he'll be very disappointed with that, and again, just he'll need to get back onto the training park and work the boys hard, and well, obviously nobody's wanting to get beat 7-0, so you want to demand standards for the boy, and he is a demanding guy, so hopefully he'll get the boys back on his side.
Yeah, absolutely. Big result for Girvan, a 4-0 win over Saltcoats at home. Thomas Donovan got a double in there as well. Girvan, I would say, maybe at the start of the season, you were thinking they could be right up there challenging. They've obviously done a lot of changes in the past few months, obviously with Mark leaving and Rab coming in. That's a big result for them. And again, it ends a 4-match run without a win. They'll just want to kick on. And as I say, I think that they've got the players to do it.
Aye, they're definitely a good side. Well, we played them at the start of the season, kind of middle of the start of the season, and went away to Girvan and got a 4-2 win. But they were a good footballing side. It wasn't a scudding for our point of view. Like, they were a good side. So we've got on Saturday. So hopefully the winning run doesn't continue. But they'll be obviously coming into the game against us. After a 4-0 win, obviously wanting to keep it going, and we'll be hoping to stop it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just other results. Bells Hill, they get into the quarter final with Glenafton with a lot of confidence, a 4-1 away win over Royal Albert. Fanart won Irvine Vicks. Now that's probably a big result as well for Fanart. Irvine Vicks obviously challenging the league. I think they were unbeaten in the last 7 or 8 getting into this. Big result for Fanart, and as well Bells Hill, big game for them.
They'll be obviously with their confidence. That'll take their confidence into the game against Glenafton. They can challenge them. Good side. So they'll just need to believe in themselves. Again, confidence is flying. As for Fanart, that's a good result for them against Irvine Vicks, who are obviously a very good side as well. So even to keep a clean sheet against Irvine Vicks is brilliant as well. But to get the win, class for them.
By all reports, a very entertaining game at Port Glasgow, a 3-2 win for Les Mahago away to Port Glasgow. McStay a double, Kieran Malkin scored a double for Port Glasgow as well. Two sides very, very kind of evenly matched. I think there's 7 points separating them in the table as well. Port Glasgow again, they're just obviously finding their feet, got a lot of new faces in. But Les Mahago, I mean, probably a really good run they're on. They've won the last 4. They'll just want to obviously keep tabs in the top 3. They kind of close the gap in Vela Clyde a wee bit. They're only 2 points behind them now, and Irvine Vicks there as well. With the kind of two sides, Vela Clyde not playing and Irvine Vicks losing as well, it just gives Les Mahago a shot that they can try and get above them in the next couple of games.
Nearly will be buzzing with his result there. He'll be 3-2 away. Do you know what I mean? Away to Port Glasgow as well. It's not an easy place to go to. Big Johnny will be buzzing with his double as well, because he was obviously with injury for ages, so he'll be ecstatic with that. But that is a good result for Leslie Hagel away, and again they're up there and challenging with the top of the league.
Yeah. Killuke ended a winless run with a 2-1 victory over Luga. Christy Lawler with a double, and the points were shared at Dalry and Vale of Leaving in a 2-2 draw. Killuke's probably the result that caught your eye, I would say.
Aye, again, because looking and who was it? The points? Sorry, Luga.
Luga, aye.
Aye, they're kind of teams that around our area in the league, and that is a result that we didn't want, but it would be a great result for them. They'll be absolutely ecstatic with that, especially ending their winless streak. So they'll be happy with the result, and they'll be hoping to kick on for there.
Yeah. Fourth division, Kilsyth get back to winning ways, a 3-1 home win over BSC Glasgow. We speak about it all the time. Kilsyth Athletic, they're unbeaten. I think they're one of the only unbeaten teams in Scotland this season so far. Again, that's a big result, especially when you've lost your first points of the season. You don't know what that does to you. Just to get a win again, get back to winning ways, will be buzzing.
People are probably watching them to see how they would react after obviously dropping the 2 points, but they're still unbeaten, and they obviously believe in themselves that they can go out and win every game, and they've obviously just came out great mentality for them after dropping points to come back and get the win again.
Yeah. Wins for St Peters, a 3-2 win over Glenvale, a tight affair. Thomas Haggerty with a double for St Peters as well. Thorn 1-3-1 away to WOSFL Academy. Big win for Eglinton, a 2-1 home win over Easterhouse. Harmony Row 1, Campbelltown Pupils 1. What kind of result catches your eye in that division?
I'll say St Peters and Glenvale, obviously that's a bit of a rivalry, so St Peters will be happy with a 3-2 win over their rivals. Eglinton as well, that's a good result for them. That'll push them up the table a little bit. And obviously Campbelltown, but they're bottom in the league, I'm sure, aren't they? So to get a point, that's just need to get the points on the board to start climbing.
Yeah. How impressed you've been with the teams in that league, like Kilsyth Athletic, West Park, Freeve in there? There's a good standard in that league.
There's probably teams that arguably shouldn't be in the league, like Kilsyth. Do you know what I mean? They would challenge up probably to the first division, maybe even the Premier League, if they kept on going. Do you know what I mean? But Kilsyth are definitely a very, very good side, and it is impressive to see the standard again. The standard isn't much.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot. Like you touch on it as well. Like there's a really good standard in the kind of fourth division. Obviously, with the third division, is it as many as 9 teams can go down for the third division next season? Is that right?
I think it's just 6.
6.
I think it's the 6 teams, but we just need to obviously keep plugging away to get yourself out of that relegation zone. But it's hard when there's 6 teams at the bottom, like that are getting relegated. It's hard. Like 6 teams, I've never seen that in any league.
No, it was even last year. The Premier Division 7 went down. Benburg, I think, finished with 52 points and went down. It's crazy how the league works.
Crazy, man, crazy.
But again, it's obviously just it's kind of sorting everything out. Obviously, I think there'll be all the pros. There's a lot of teams going to join the fourth division next season as well. So it's beginning to kind of take shape, the kind of West, and it's from where we were a few years ago. I know you'll probably know this as well. Just to see everything improving, and a lot of teams, like speaking to a lot of kind of amateur teams as well, they're all eager to get there.
Definitely, aye. Obviously, I've came from under-20s football, so seeing like the standard at under-20s, and by the way, some of the teams could probably jump up into the leagues that I've seen in under-20s.
Mm-hmm.
There is a good standard there, and obviously there's teams waiting to come in, and they're obviously going to have to bring a standard to keep up with the standard that's already there. So and they wouldn't be wanting to come in if they never had that standard. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, definitely not. We'll just touch on what's coming up over the weekend. We obviously have the quarterfinals of the Junior Cup. A lot of West teams in action. Bellshill, Glenafton, East Craigie are the only non-West team in. They host Shotts. Hurlford host Cumnock. I think that'll be the game of the quarterfinals. And Larkhall versus Rutherglen. What are we thinking here? Four really tight games. What do you think?
Aye. I'll obviously be rooting for the West teams. Obviously there is a lot of them, but think Shorts have got a tricky tie.
There's
up in
definitely
Dundee.
3 going through. That's the thing. There's 3 going through. That's it.
Shorts have got a tricky tie up in Dundee. I've not really seen much of East Craigie. I know John will be wanting to go up there and get a result after obviously getting beat after Dundonald with the whole situation that happened there, and he'll be wanting to get the team back to winning ways. But I think Shorts are a totally different team in the Scottish Cup, as you've probably seen before. But they're a great side with some very good players, and I know John very well as well. So he'll be hopefully expecting the result. Again, your Black Colin Belsillan, that'll be up there challenging with the Premier League teams. No scared to go.
Definitely, it's going to be really good, and it's going to be a really good occasion. We obviously have as well Darvel flying the flag for the West in the Scottish Cup on Monday night. They host Falkirk. Can they do it? Can this miracle continue?
I think they can. The way they play and all that, they obviously believe in themselves in the squad. Camaraderie that they've got, and that as you see on the telly and that kind of stuff, they're making these team talks, and they've got a brilliant setup. Like I went when I was at work, just drove past the stadium, and I was just like, oh, this is phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Scaffolding that was still up, so they've got the full town behind them as well, which is another massive thing. But they beat Aberdeen, why can they not beat Falkirk?
Exactly, brilliant. It would be amazing as well, and obviously it'd
be brilliant for the West of Scotland football team, not just for us, but Darvel especially. Man, that'll be brilliant for Mick and the boys.
Yeah, definitely. We'll touch on obviously Newmains as well. We'll touch on the next few games and just give me your thoughts and what you think. Home to Girvan on Saturday, away to Les Mahago, home to Royal Albert. Games in there against Finnart, Bells Hill. There's a lot of big games coming up. They're just looking as well. Lugan and Saltcoats in the next few weeks as well. Again, just what's your kind of thoughts and what's your kind of hopes for the rest of the season?
Hopes are obviously to stay in the third division. We want to stay up as high as we can. We want to finish as high as we can as well. And we as coaching staff, Davey and the guys, believe that we can get 3 points every game. Why would you know? Do you know what I mean? So we just need to go in there, work hard on the training pitch, and believe in ourselves. And we go out, and I believe we can take the points off every team there. Tough games, don't get me wrong, but we just need to keep working and plugging away. And that, as you say, we've 3 draws, but that's unbeaten in 3 games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully make it 4 on Saturday against Girvan, and then kick on from there and get ourselves at that relegation zone for as high as possible in the table.
Yeah. Well, we're wishing you all the best for the season ahead, Mark. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries, thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for consistent West of Scotland football coverage. And as always, subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. And we'll be back next week with a new episode. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Cheers.